Well, hello people of YouTube and the internet, it is I, the Chief GP, with another amazing, wonderful drawing project. About wonderful, amazing, not sure, because if I have to rate it, I would rate it as my usual artwork, which is, let's say, maybe lower than 5 or maybe higher than 5, but it's definitely like 2 and not 10, definitely. Like, it's not bad, but it's not the greatest one either. So it's me trying to draw the Kwamis of the different type of Pokemons. It's one of those projects I wanted to make for a real long time, and which one I will do right now. Without long intros, we're gonna start it right now. So this project is one of my projects I want to do for a long time, but I do the classic, well not the classic, the first type, start Pokemon types, and I will do from I forgot the name to I also don't remember the name. So from the first one to the old one. So in this batch there will be Charmander, Charizard, Bulbasaur, or Ivysaur and Blastoise, which is I'm sure it's not right number or right names, but it's what I remember. Although man, I think I was reading and I was shocked that, or maybe not Ivysaurs but Ivysaurs, but it sounds so much similar and so much closer. So originally it was going to be Ben 10 aliens, but because again I say it to myself, I sometimes do have a tendency to draw a ton of Ben 10. And it's not like it's a bad thing, but I also want to do some new stuff. So decided to do Pokemons because it's not like I was doing it earlier. I totally was doing it earlier, but there was a break between one video, which was breaking this video and that video. And plus it's also a miraculous series. A series which is, to be fair, I'm not a big fan of, but I also would like to make some heroes about it. Like the transformation, that stuff is what I could be interested in. So for Charizard, Kwami, it's originally for the transformation, I would say it's kind of mix of all evolution between those and that. But I would say it's mostly also the last one. And kind of that stuff. So for that, next guess find the image of Kwamis, try to do it, those circles in the eyes. It's a decided to will function as eyebrows, that which is the same color skin but darker. The anime eyes, which you know 2 colors in the eyes, and they actually no, I wouldn't say it's anime eyes, I would say just realistic eyes. Like I think for anime eyes there also must be some brightness in there. So for Charizard, Kwami decide to go minimalistic Charizard without this instead in face. Just those horns, those little wings, and still flamey tail. But I'd say for now this Kwami have pretty weird legs. I think I would learn, well, guess how I want to do my legs in a bit late. Now for object in which one this Kwami will be connected will be the belt. Was thinking about, well actually it was not a long thinking process, it was pretty fast to come to me. It was a belt, which is, I'm not sure, is, well actually yeah, I think it's pretty much possible. I mean one of the objects is nose ring, which is actually not that weird. So for the charges I decided to do these little flamey flames. The only problem with those, they are not symmetrical, well not identical, like they're all different, but I have a problem with keeping consistency. Decided to draw this buckle, this behind of the belt, and that stuff out of there. Also decided to draw the camouflage version for Marinette and Chloe. Originally it was the main idea that there will always be Marinette, Camouflage and Chloe, because one time Marinette and Chloe were all miraculous together. But I will change the idea in the future. For Marinette, find a reference drawing and try to draw really fancy belts, like a belts which have one of those very long belt bucket. Is it how you call it, belt bucket? Or maybe belt bucket? Nah, yeah, belt bucket. And Marinette color, because as I learned with Kwamis, they often take color of user color scheme. Well, sometimes with exceptions. Like there is bloody hell. Okay, you know what? With Miraculous, it's the series which one I know some episodes, mostly the first couple seasons, and later seasons I just have some ideas of the big events. Like small events is something I don't memorize a lot. Like there is a second user of the Miraculous, whose name I don't remember. And whenever she like called the Miraculous, it's like take those square and yellowish, bluish forms. And I think like some people who draw one Miraculous for the different users, and I always do it in the same spectrum as that girl. Like I also want to do something like this, but still wanna try keep sometimes like the fact that Miracles just take a normal form of the ring. So for Holo belt it's just something like a standard mechanical belt. By mechanical is whenever it's have a button inside to connect the belt. I don't know, have you ever heard about this or not? I have that kind of belt at my home. I could actually bring it up right now, but not now. Okay, so for the weapon, originally I was going to do the Molotna ram, battle ram, and did it in the way of tail, like it was a tail, with those spikes, with those holes, and with illusion of a fire of it. But while I was drawing the hero, who will wear a Miraculous, it's come up like super small, not as I intended, and it did not look like a battle ram at all. So I decided to turn it into Duba, or how do you say it? Well, it's whatever you blow and it makes a noise. So for the hero, it's not actually like a character, it's more like just a hero to show how it will look on the hero. So here I was also trying to do something what I suck in it, like trying to do 3D characters and closer to the original art style, which is first of all is one of the things I suck at. Even whenever I do it, it's look pretty future/cartoonish. So I brought up some characters, saw how they do the lips. Except for lips, I think they have lips, but it's basically somehow visible. Although it's 3D. Yeah, 3D. But also, man, I also learned one amazing trick to draw the lips, which is, I think I did not use in this one. Because for this one, I just decided to draw lips for the male character, which originally was kind of looking like femalish, but I think the head and the body structure saved the situation. But I think, like, I was mostly drawing the lips, so draw characters whose face were hidden, even his lips were hidden. So something like this. But I did find out a nice way to draw lips. In that way, I think I would like that it's line which will not go on the mouth, but it will be just a random line to show the lips. And maybe I can also do the chin. I think I already did the chin, but not with this bunch. Like I think I did chin before. Although I think it was the third character where it's pretty needed to be a chin. Where it's pretty much needed to be a chin. So right now I kind of was shocked, but now I'm drawing the hand. And for the battle position, I think I will do something like Kung Fu vibe, like finger like this and a hand like that. Trying to do the fingers, because again I want to do something realistic, so I found a nice reference drawing for realistic fingers. Decided to draw some claws, some Charizard belly color on the hands, and those metallic parts of the nail on the fingers. For the mask, decided to do classic mask, and of course I decided to do clothes which will be something, you know, like something that Jack Spicer from Xalig Showdown wear. And recently become a big fan of that. Well, not big fan of the whole show, big fan of the clip. Like I found some YouTube clips, and Jack Spicer suddenly become my favorite character in there. So I decided to do something like this, but maybe not like towards the leg, a bit maybe short. For the color, man, decided to do this jacket spikes, but I think this one, the one on this side, it was pretty weird because first of all, I did not intend this to look like a jacket, so I did not do those jacket lines, and maybe it looked pretty weird. Now bring up the belt to draw the belt one more time to keep some form of consistency. I will not pronounce that word nice today. I'm not sure I did it. I think in colors and basic structure it is, but in forms and those lines it's maybe not that perfect, and maybe size a little bit different. Now here I will draw the inside of the blue as I intended, because I want to do some Charizard mixed of colors. Like for colors, I think there's like always the same as Kwami, like the eyes, the body, and that stuff. It's always the same, and basically in the same color spectrum. Well, except Catmua, I think he's like mostly go by black and slash green. Like okay, in the first outfit is just black with some maybe grayish and silverish. While in the second form of I forgot his name, it's already green hair, so it's like hair change. Actually, also there's a rogue who's become white, so there can be also this form of color deformation. What the hell, I need to watch maybe some episode a little bit more, because I talking about that stuff and I have no idea what happened in there. Like I know there's like she was appeared one more time, but the episode where she appeared was not my favorite. Well, not much. It was one of those I did not much watch. Like my favorite will have those most interesting villains, which I found out super interesting, and I have decided to watch them. So it will be Simplifier, oh maybe not his name, or Mr. And who's that guy who looked like a French and once he stepped his door pen made from wood, everyone will become like children in the mind. Like he was a nice villain. Robotus is my favorite villain because I like this concept of characters who's not human getting affected by, how can I say it, accumulation with no human character. And also in Ready Carnigan I like whenever the character who's not human or have some unique characteristic get acclimatized. Well, not acclimatized, just tanked. And I miss the Randy Carnigan, to be fair, my favorite show. I heard there was a petition what about making a third season, but it was like just from some fans making fun of it. To be fair, it's like I don't think it's ever worked. Well, sometimes it does work, but I think it's more of the producers noticing that people are super simple about it. But it's not will work always, so I think it's like a failed attempt. Although maybe if we start talking about it more often, maybe it will get some resurrection. Gods no, I mean random shows get resurrected, and sometimes it's like true resurrection or reboot, which is I'm picking. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. Now for the horn, drawing it from the different perspective, it is actually I'm not sure it's the right perspective. I think from this perspective it's kinda supposed to just see the flammable part and not like this. But I already did it in this way. Now for clothes, decide to give him really big cool sneakers. Trying to figure out how to make the jacket, those jacket spikes look more natural, because to me it's look not so natural. So try to fix it by making a little bit more jacketness into that, or how can I say it? But yeah, a bit more jacket. Given, did I actually give a pocket? Yeah, I really was thinking about giving the pocket with those lines, but then say no to that idea, just giving him a real pocket. Oh man, my nose today is super watery. Now doing the anime eyes, but in this one I actually did it in the wrong way. It will not be the first time I did it in the wrong way, because I don't know, in my mind I clutched it to do lines and I would put the lines in a different wrong place. Giving him the blue anime, well, half anime eyes, because I don't know, I think I kinda often use, actually maybe it's, yeah, actually it's used in pretty much often shows. Like I think the Owl House is something like this, so they also have those white stuff in the eyes. Who else used stuff like this? Man, I have to watch a lot of stuff to memorize them all. Now also this guy kinda looked like a dragon half child from one of the shows I once watched. So here also was a attempt of me trying to draw the lips I want to draw, but saying maybe it's not the best idea, I decided to maybe do it with the next character, which I did not do. I didn't do that. Maybe we'll do later, but not for now. Oh man, making the clothes. I have bring up the belt again, I think it's pretty nice looking. Oh, maybe for bothering the colors. Yeah, I will totally bother the colors. Oh man, my nose is so watery. Oh man, I also will make those noises a lot. Oh, making the nice position, make it for boots, also give them little metallic spikes on the tip of the toes to mimic the Charizard spikes fingers. And also I think the clothes will be in the same color spectrum as anything else I would make. So for the powers, activation word, man I don't even remember the activation word. For powers I would say his powers will be that the fact that he can create a fire wing which he can fly around the world, and whenever the fire wing interacts with objects they will melt. The reason I choose this power because first of all I don't want characters have the elemental powers of elements, because first of all literally it's all start Pokemon which is basically the same three elements: grass, water and fire. So I cannot like make this all the time. So for this one I decided to give him a fire wing, because I think in anime it was shown that Charizard kinda ditched the ass to travel around the world. Sometimes appearing, sometimes not. So I decided to use this trait of Charizard to powers, like he can travel around the world in a mere seconds. Activation word I will not remember. Of course he has some other powers, basically the same as any other characters. Like he high jumper, he's super strong, and he can use his tube to attack people. And it also have some other functions, like I think it can function as a normal tube. Maybe some binoculars, maybe some other stuff. You choose you, it will be that. Also phone, man, it will be funny for the phone. Although I think man, if you're a fan of the series, sorry for being such a not big fan. Well, I know the series. I will not say I'm like super fanboy, which I know everything. I'm not that kind of guy. I just know some stuff. I don't even know all characters' names. I would say Aya or Alia. have this weird smoke whenever she coats someone. So maybe this one will also do something like this. Or maybe not smoke, but something close to that. Now, okay, so for activation word, this is Kwami Zod, Kwami of Adventurer. Because first of all, or maybe Adventure, yeah. Because again, it's flying around the world and that's like the only thing I can associate it with. But over there, there's a Kwami who can travel in time, and its Kwami is of evolution, which is not exactly what time travel are, but I can okay with this. I'm not talking about the snake Kwami, I'm talking about the bunny Kwami, because the snake Kwami have some limits in time travel, while bunny Kwami is not limitless. So it's Zod, get ready for battle and cool down because Charizard, and I think they have like super fiery wheel. So power flaming wings, and I think everything I want to say about the power is already been said. You can see numbers to show which one is the disguise mode, and I'm holding this because I want to hold something in my hand to talk and like do this whenever I want to talk. So I think everything I want to say I said it. So for the next character we go right after the snap. Okay, so the next Kwami is Blastoise. Or Blastoise. Okay, so how I pronounce it usually, then so how it's right on the wiki. It sounds pretty weird. So here I'm flipping the eyes, and I would say lots of those badges whenever I flip the eyes, it would look pretty weird. So the body, I think maybe I did pick a little bit of darkish blue color. And usually, man, for years I also was thinking about doing something with the previous evolution, those flappy ears. But then say no to do those ears with spikes that Blastoise usually have. Which is again not sure, like to be fair I'm saying in my mind that I will kinda mix the all evolution together. But I think I'm mostly going with the last one. And usually, because I think it's the right one, because it's technically supposed to be like the grown up version of that species. And for the position, the arms will be on the hips, like in battle position. We'll do something like a shell, like this turtle Kwami have there. Basically the same thing, plus those little knobs for guns. Well, those really small, little, not big. Now also here, I also decided to do lots of those colors on the bodies. Like I think in the Miraculous, I think they're just in the single color. Mine is the fact that if it's animal which is have the spots and something like this. Actually, I think it's pretty fair because first of all there's like a bunny who's full time white, but there's a monkey who have a white belly, face, and there's a cat who's full also black and doesn't have any spots, and then Tiki who have dots on there, and the snakes who have dots on this hood. So I think actually it's pretty fair to give them color on the body as the real animal have. So yeah, I did colors on the body as real Blastoise or man, I think I will not pronounce it right again. So actually, because I was tricking the image, the line get pretty thin and too pixelated, which is a problem I will have whenever I'm shrinking the image. I would say often I would not get this problem, but because mostly whenever I shrink the image I would have no reason to make it bigger. Or maybe whenever I shrink the image I don't shrink it that much to become a problem. So doing those legs which is bent in that way and then foot, like in the anime, well, Miraculous. But let's call it anime, I think it was designed to be a little animation. And again, as I said earlier, for Squirtle and Blastoise, I did pick really dark color for him. Like I think in regional anime he is a bit more brighter, but I think I will use the right color for the Kwami hero, whose name I also don't know. Because man, you can actually give it a name in down the comments. Like I was not thinking about their name. I don't maybe should, but I think the character decide the name, and those characters they just represented how it will look in the battle Kwami position, like whenever it's possession someone. Because I think there is also will be a specific type for clothing, like how the Peacock Miraculous always change the user's skin and giving him something like a pretty unique dress. And there's always will be something like this, I would guess, like it does have some effect on the user. I mean, the clothes will be decided by the user, but Kwami nature also does little play with this. So for the object which Kwami will believe, it will be the hat slash the helmet, but mostly in original form it's helmet. Whenever a user uses it, it will look like a hat. And originally I was thinking about Marinette and Chloe, but for Chloe I didn't want just give her a really white hat in the same way as Marinette. Because for Marinette I was thinking about something like those very big long hat, like what something like Chloe mom, I would say. And for Chloe I was thinking about the same thing, But again was thinking, man, I don't want to make the same thing. I mean, yes, usual miracles whenever they in camouflage mode, they just copy the user color scheme, their style. Well, the style it's pretty interesting because the belt is what I would say in Chloe style. But it was... I would not just give it a whole white hat. So I decided to do something like this and then come up to my mind, and it definitely does look like Chloe would wear, and it's also not the hat I was thinking in my mind. So in my mind I decided, no, what if it was Adrian, because it does look like something Adrian would wear. So I decided to change my thought and say that's how it will look on Adrian. And decided to give every camouflage form and one Marinette version, slash one other guy, other movement version. Man, my nose is snorting today so hard. Okay, so for the weapon it would be bazooka, because first of all, Blastoise guns already a bazooka, so I thought, why the hell not do the weapon as bazooka? And to be fair, I don't think there's like any specific weapon for, the weapon for Miraculous. Or maybe there is. I mean, I think I saw once in the comics that object was designed by some old guy. So maybe weapons also were designed by some old guy, so maybe there's no way he would design a bazooka, because he is like super old and there's no way the bazooka exists during that time. But I decided bazooka. And it will not be some bazooka, it will be water bazooka. I guess in the usual fight it still would act as a mullet, slash dead phone, slash other stuff, and will only shoot water whenever you use ability Hydro Pump. Named after the same move in Pokémons. Because what the hell ditch the original if you have the original, to be fair. And the power will be, guess, it will shoot water automatically. If you close or not, if you're holding it or not. Like there's trigger, but I would say just for decoration, like it will shoot water automatically. So it's not even a bazooka, it's more like a pipe. So for the hero, the helmet, and also for the heroes I have no idea what I want to do. Maybe with Charizard have some ideas. For other heroes, I always come up with ideas during the process of drawing, which is I'm not sure how professional it is. Like I think, well actually I think some people just start drawing and then they just draw a bunch of drawings to find out what they actually want to do. I guess I'm doing the same thing, minus the fact that I only make fun drawings. And if I want to change something, I change it. If I want to do something during the process, I do it with process, but usually it's not a big change. So I decided to give him a scarf, shell, because Blastoise is pretty big and inside of shell, so I was thinking about the same ideas to make him like a guy who's inside of shell, and they only can see his arms and his head. And the head will be hidden by the scarf. But I guess maybe I could do a shell a little bit bigger. Oh, I decided to do those little shells on the shoulders. Originally I was thinking about making something arm like this, but really hating it, so arm on the body and one arm will hold the bazooka. Now for body, yeah, I would like male full-time shell, like those shells with spikes on back, this white shell on the belly. And for close details, I would say it's pretty simplified. Like I guess those things could be actually something like this, so maybe it was a live design. No, it was not live design. I was designing this while I was wearing a different kind of short. Oh man, my nose is so watery. Yes, a little bit sick, but I will not say I'm like full-time sick. I would say just a watery nose. Like, and constant desire to drink some tea. Because whenever I'm sick, I always like drinking tea. Because I hate the taste of coffee whenever I'm sick. Okay, so the boots, I guess boots is what I was thinking about for boots. Yeah, I guess the same was Charizard, like the boots will go a little bit higher than the pants and then clutch and that. But I also decided to draw this little dot for the shell effect. The boots will be looking straight at you, so I decided to do those boots nose, or how you say it with boots. It sounds pretty weird. Then drawing the legs, but it's like super different from what I did before, so it's problem with my consistency. Also, what else? Nothing much to say. I guess this hero will be pretty heavy, but still pretty jumpy. Man, actually all heroes basically have the same set of abilities. Well, minus some facts like Marinette have Yo-Yo, Katnua have the pole, and usually it has some pole-based abilities. Like, it can go into Tuba, you can see what happened in the upside, it can go up, well, Marinette can dodge things, although Katnua can also, well, not dodge, but create a shield with this weapon. I think basically the same thing, or maybe, yeah, basically the same thing. So for the water, I guess originally was thinking about shooting super strong water to break the walls. But then came an idea, what if he can control this? And so decided he can control it. It can be a really weak amount of water to just put down a fire or just make some bad. Or the strong amount of water which can break the building, and if not careful with it, it can kill a man. And usually we run up the bazooka a lot to make it a nice drawing. But I guess it's not that nice because from perspective I'm not sure how right it will be, because I think in the single frame of bazooka as a representation of weapon it's a bit more slender and going further. But in this it's kinda lame there. Also decided to do this trigger and this little ring that cover the trigger in a different color. Now he will be wearing the gloves in the color of the shell and the fingers will be color of the claws, so it will be glove and have different coloration with the fingers and palm of the hand. Now making the sleeves and decide to draw something like a deck of the holding sleeves. Although I guess I would kind of also wish to draw those attack with perfection in the sleeve, like those little bad lines. But then thinking about what if I do it wrong, so decide not to do it. Maybe we'll do it next time, because I guess for that I just have to do it in the first time to make it. Eyes, blue eyes, the same as Charizard, Kwami hero, but sometimes people have the same eye color. I mean, there's like only amount of eye colors in the world that can be used, because sometimes they can be looking really weird. Although it's miraculous, so maybe it will change the color of the user. Now, how much often it does change the color of the user? I think it's only like Cat Noir, because he have the full-time green eye, and others usually have normal eyes. So for the activation word it will be ooze I'm up and ooze at ease, like something like Solder would say. And yes, the Kwami of Blastoise, Kwami of water, and yes, it's Kwami of elements. He's freaking used his move is shooting water. Like what the hell he can be? Like Kwami of... yeah, I have no idea what he can be. Like, so I decided to... this time it will be Kwami of the element he's right now. Kwami of water. I mean, it's possible. I mean, Kwami represent one thing, like even not a physical thing. So maybe there will be Kwami who represent like a genuine object, like Kwami of fire, Kwami of pancakes. What if it's real? I will be shocked. So something like this. And his name is Uz. Actually, I think for normal Kwami there's usually names from 4 letters. I decided to use 3 because I don't know what else I can do. Maybe Uzi after the murder drones. But it's something I did not decide to do. Also, you can see the charge will be those things on here and this thing on here, because I decided to keep this thing here, and I did not want to make just 4 shells segments, so I decided to give them 6 shell fragments, but the one on top is not a charge, just decoration. And man, his shell, and also have nothing much to say. So for the next one we go, I guess. Okay, that will be last one for today. And if you ask me, Chief, you wanna make 3 characters? Yes, because I'm trying to imply one of the lessons I should be learned by now. It's sometimes when you make a tons of characters, when you speed up the video at a normal speed, the video will be still pretty long. Plus the fact that you will talk during the moments when you finish the drawing and now you just comment about the last part of the drawing, which also make it a bit longer. And so basically whenever there's more characters the video will be longer, and whenever there's little characters it's almost I talk enough to make a nice video, which I could say maybe could be a little bit more shorter. But also would say maybe it could use a little bit more characters, so maybe when I'll do Gen 2 I will also do a Gen 3, like 6 character in one batch. To be fair, it's not that hard, like it's basically Kwamis, which basically all have the same body type, minus the fact that they different colors, have different characteristics, and yet that stuff is not that hard. And for weapons I also don't do that much stuff, and for power also not that much stuff, and for objects also not that much stuff, so I can totally like nail 6 characters, and I think it also will be a nice speed. Although I think if it will be 6 characters it will be already like something like 40/5. And you know what, I will decide, or let you decide, also I will decide myself. So also for the eyes, you can see that I did the eyes a bit more differently, like whenever there's a pupil, this, well not the pupil, the eye itself, there's this little band. I did a little bit more spiky, well I decided to show emotion in it, because I see it's something like eyebrows. So the Kwamis object which is inside of it, I decided it will be something like flower. Like originally I was thinking about the flower, but then I decided to think about the charges and how it will look. And so that I decided to use a bit more common object. So it will be something be a hairpin. This looked not so great to be fair. I think I could use a little bit more thicker lines. But for disguise hairpin, that was a little bit better there. Yeah, because I was removing the lines. So also not so great. And also for the pins, I decided they will look exactly the same, just different colors. So it will be Marinette and Alia or Aria. You know what, I will see the name after the finished final version, so I will be sure about the name. So for the weapon, I have no idea what to do, so I decided to draw a bow staff. Which is what Monkey Kwami have, but I would guess that sometimes Kwami can have the same weapon, because there's like not so many weapons in the world. Although sometimes Kwami use object for the weapon, so maybe... well, there's also not so many objects and weapons in that stuff. Although what do you want me to give her? A garden pilot? Maybe I could give it a garden... well, not garden pilot, it's definitely not called like this. Maybe a rakes. But it's look like she, I think maybe it could work. Rake. If I do it NASA, maybe it will work. Now, for powers, I decided this one will not have power of growing plants, because I think it will be something like elemental powers. So I decided her powers will be a heal. Literally will be called like this, but with not all powers have original names. So for the heal, whenever she say heal, actually which kind of a bad word because you cannot ever say it clearly. Although, whenever you say Lucky Charm, like, I don't think whenever Ladybug say Lucky Charm, the power automatically activates. I think that she has to scream it and like do something, like intending it to be fair, because I think it's okay for her to just say it. So maybe with heal it will be the same. You can say it, but to work it you have to meet. So with power of heal, this hero can heal anything. That plant will grow back into full purity. Broken arm, fix right there. Limits, I don't know, maybe you will even able to grow a new arm, or maybe the old arm will come to you and then reattach itself back in, and if it's damaged it will regrow what it's needed. A broken brick, she can fix it, so it's even a broken object. So decide something like Steven Universe or Fix It Felix, yeah, something like this. Actually, how the hell Steven fix objects? Although maybe they can have something like connection, like its Felix can broken and then reattach itself back together. Well, to be fair, gems are like not organic material, so maybe it's exactly how it's supposed to be working. Now for today's hero, decided to give her first of all a different color skin, because I should work with the skin color a bit more differently. Then decided to give her dreads, because I like the idea of dreads. But also decided, because man, I have no idea how to make enough dreads, so went online for a reference to the image and decided to draw those kind of dreads, which is I think look pretty nice. And that is for this hero style I decided to go full tropical. And yes, I kinda did give her a bit less clothes than some other heroes, like not even the Miracles they have this less clothing. But it's something tropical slash that stuff, and to be fair it's mostly blend the user than blend the Miracles. Well yeah, Miracles did play a little bit role there. I decided to give her a little bit this kind of clothing. Don't shame me, I don't do that often, and it's her decision to do this, wear this kind of clothes. So, girl power. That's a weird sentence. Well, not a weird sentence, it's a weird sentence to say together because it's kinda like tongue twister. Well, actually, I think with my language, it's literally every word is tongue twister. Okay, so here I'm drawing the legs, and also I noticed one thing. I was watching one show, and I noticed that how characters draw a different crouches. Like for the man, it will be the line, which is one line go a bit further, and leg go there, and leg go from there. With female character, I think there was something like a leg, and it will be form of Z. Which is kind of obvious why it was done that way, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's something I should practice with more. Like a different look of legs. And I think I did it once before with my thumbnails drawing, where for different poses I was... well, there was one pose which his leg will go behind other legs, and for leg separation I did this little Z. Actually, man, there's like a ton of things I should be experimenting with my art style. And here I'm redrawing the both stuff. Also I did a little flowers, a little wine effect, which I did not commit at all. But does it deserve a comment? Well, maybe it does, but I did not comment about that stuff. Okay, so for the clothes I decided also for the bra, not to just give it a bra and the pants and those karate shoes, or karate slippers, I don't know. It's karate shoes, you know, those which one. Actually, I think for karate you don't wear any shoes. But for martial arts, yeah, I don't know. It's some, maybe the best comment will be something like ballet shoes, because ballet shoes also something like this. Although I think there's something tied up. Those one just slide in. But okay, for that stuff, for bra, I also did this little blanket from the belly to not like fully really full open belly. And for pants, I also decided to give this little pink ribbon. And for the arm, this arm was super long, so I decided to shorten it a little bit. It will be holding both stuff. She will be holding both stuff with both her arms. This arm will be maybe, yeah, stuff like this, and this one will be something like this. Although maybe I think it's a nice size for hands. But for hands I decided to make them pretty flat, to be fair. Like, to not do some full thumb effect of, well, not to make a nice grip. I would go with a simple grip effect. And nothing much to say. I think I'm about to finish it. Well, I guess the flower, yeah, it does look different. Because again, everything with me will look different. Because damn those hands, damn those skills. It's a comment I already said before on my channel, and I think it's gonna be also part of my channel logo now. Damn those hands, damn those skills. Ta 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 ta. Also decided to give the bra a little bit more dots because previous evolutions have a bit more dots. The ultimate have some dots on the heads. But yeah, decided to give some extra dots. And nothing much to say. I think I'm about to finish. The green eyes, because I want a different color of eyes. And over here, I think, what kind of Venusaur's eyes have? I think Venusaur have red eyes. Like Charmander or Charizard. But yeah, no, Charizard have grey eyes. I think I saw how Charizard have grey eyes. But to the hair, I decided to give the effect of a back hair a bit darkened. The clothes will be the same color as normal Bulbasaur, plus those rows as a flower palette. We'll bring out all the image to draw the flower palettes, the pants, and I think that's it. Well, of course, there was also the final version of the drawing, the activation word, and also I think I decided to draw a little bit more bra, because there was bra only here, and it was not held by any more. Like, there was not strong connection, so I decided to draw a little bit bra here. Decided to draw right here to make sure it will never fall off. And also on the back it will create something like a flower. It's some random fact which is not real. But it's a fact which I would like to say that behind of this bra there's a little flower there. And also for Kwami, his name is Lula. Kwami of health. Because healing is the only connection I can make with this Kwami. Also I decided for object there will be human skin, grass, and it originally was supposed to be a brick, but I'm okay with being it's a broken stick. Not much to say. Also you can notice that with background I was trying to use a different kind of background. With Blastoise and Charizard I think it was mostly blue. For this one there's a little bit reddish and, well, still grayish, although it's more blackish than this one. So, that's Kwami of Venusaur. So I think that's it. And man, I have so much spare time. Nice decision to make video shorter, but I guess I could actually use a bit more characters there. But still, if I do, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe in the future I will do a little bit more, maybe like 6. Definitely not 9, because 9 I think will be too much, and then I will be struggle to make this video not an hour, because there was a problem in the past where my videos was an hour long, and I have to speed it up, and it was like super fast that I have no time to comment, which is now not much of a problem. Well, I think once it was a problem. Well, not big, but it was. So, commenting, go to my social media, go to my 2 other channels, like, subscribe, comment, do that on every channel, and then, I don't know what much to say. I guess the only thing that it's nice to say is go and have a nice, wonderful day. Bye bye.